we're ready to go. Good evening from Pearland Lady Oilers softball field. Charles McCullough here with you on a very overcast Thursday evening, but we're just underway with the Pearland Lady Oilers against the North Shore Lady Mustangs, whom they are hosting in this one game only by-district playoff right here at Pearland High School. The Pearland Lady Oilers are in the top right now of the second inning of play. They are the visitors at their own home field because of the flip of the coin. So they are the visiting team tonight. Connected on into the infield. We're going to catch everything up to you. And on over to first is going to be out number one for Pearland Lady Oilers, as we'll catch the action up for you. We've had one complete inning of play. Ordinarily, our broadcasts get underway at about 7 o'clock. We have a 6:30 time start to this game. It got underway actually at about 6:35, 6:40. So we got here normally with our expected quarter till or 10 till sign-on time. However, the Lady Oilers had already begun a quick hurry-up game, possibly in anticipation of all the rain clouds that are gathering up ahead. But we're going to be right on top of it with you, and here we are. We're proud to have you on board with us, friends. Charles McCullough here with you. As the Pearland Lady Oilers lead 2-0 over the North Shore Lady Mustangs, we've got 2 outs in the top of the second inning of play. We've gone through one complete inning of play. And at the plate right now for the Pearland Lady Oilers is Kaylee Buck, who is the leadoff batter. Connected on. There's a looper into left field. It's going to land and roll to the wall. Run number 3 is going to come into the pay station, and Kaylee Buck brings another buck into the bank for the Lady O's. Now, Kaylee was left stranded in her first plate appearance as she just rips a humpback line drive into left center field. And Natalie Romeo steps up. Now, she reached on a fielder's choice in her first plate appearance. Actually, Kaylee was gunned down on a 5-4 fielder's choice. So she had singled in her first plate appearance. Now she's ripped a double. And she's brought in a duck off of the pond, so the Lady Oilers now lead by the score of 3-0. And stepping up to the plate is going to be Natalie Romeo, bounced into a fielder's choice in her first plate appearance. The Lady Oilers had no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 young lady left on board in their first plate appearance. Slap hitter Natalie Romeo is back in the box and runs up with her slap hitting style. Checks on her swing, but she'll take a strike looking just the same. Charles McCullough here with you, along with Gerald Sanchez, our erstwhile engineer. Pitch coming in, connected on over to third, and it's a long throw to first, but it's just in time to retire Romeo. Wow, that was a pretty good job over there for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. Usually you want to have at the hot corner a young lady that has a powerful arm and is of pretty good height. And over at first you want a really tall girl who can make those Statue of Liberty grabs. Well, the North Shore Lady Mustangs didn't have height at either end, but they did have talent. And a young lady that made a really determined Statue of Liberty grab over at first to prevent the Pearland Lady Oilers from bringing in any more ducks off the pond. But as it is, in this top of the second inning of play, the Lady Oilers bring in 3 runs. They do it on 3 hits, and 1 young lady is left on board. We're going to recap the first inning of play for you, leading up to what will now be the bottom of this second inning of play. As we mentioned, the bunch of flips take place when you have a high school playoff game. You flip for home versus home or neutral site. So there's 3 parameters going on there. Then you flip as to how many games you're going to play. A series could be resolved in 1 game. It could be resolved in a best 2 of 3 series. Then you're going to flip as to exactly how when the games will be. If it's a 1 game only, will it be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday? If it's a best of 3 series, could the first game be Wednesday, the second Friday, the third, if needed, Saturday? And it all breaks down pretty similarly to that. Well, the Lady Oilers won the flip for location. We play at home, but they lost the flip as to how many. They'd like to play best of 3. Coach Lene Clark always does. They also lost the flip as to whether they would be the home team, even though they're playing at home. That's just a second variable. It just so happens Lady O's are able to win it or play at home, but because it's not going to be a best-of-3 series, they lost the flip to be home at their own home yard, the home team. So that accolade goes to the North Shore Lady Mustangs, who, by the way, were no runs, no hits, nobody left on board in their bottom of the first inning of play, and we lead off now with the top of the bottom of the second inning of play, and a leadoff single for Taja Vons, number 10. A fine infielder for North Shore, who drops a little dying quail right over the head of Natalie Romeo, landed on the infield dirt ingredient just before the left field garden patch. Just a perfectly placed hit 'em where they ain't knocked. So that's the first hit of the ball game for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. Out on the mound is strikeout ace Alyssa Denham. Pitch coming in. Going down, she's going to be caught stealing. And suddenly, quicker than you can say CMC Communications Broadcasting, you've got a swing and a miss strike and a gun down from 2 out to 6. So Taja Vons, after roping a nice infield single, is gunned down at second, caught stealing. Beautiful play by Miss Garcia, the fantastic Pearland Lady Oiler catcher. I was talking about Alyssa Denham out on the mound for the Pearland Lady Oilers. 6 feet 1 inches tall. She averages 13 strikeouts a game. Pitch coming in will be into the attic for ball number 1 to Brianna Rios, wearing number 4 for North Shore. Now Alyssa, in the bottom of the first inning of play, struck out Caitlin Torres. Ashley Pena, the 2-hole batter, grounded out the second, and Kat Cavazos, the pitcher for North Shore, struck out, swinging also. Pitch coming in, swung on and missed, is going to be strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brianna Rios. Lacey Ortega will bat up in the 6th spot, and she's on deck. We've got 1 away. The Lady Oilers lead 3-0 in this bi-district playoff. Here's the full windup. Up into the attic will come ball 2. Jessica Shimek is the head coach for the 23-6A North Shore Lady Mustangs. And your 22-6A Pearland Lady Oilers coming in with only 1 loss on the season. Swung on and missed is going to be strike 3. That will be 6 batters faced, or 5 batters faced, and 3 strikeouts. As Alyssa in the first inning struck out 2, gave up a ground ball put out, 4-3. Taja Vons singled but was gunned down, caught stealing second. And Brianna Rios strikes out. So now we have Lacey Ortega at the plate, another right-handed batter. One thing I've noticed about the North Shore Lady Mustangs is almost all of their batters so far have not been slap hitters. They've all been right-handed hitters. Ortega with a powerful batting stance and a nice hook pitch that comes in, called strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Got some really good news to tell you about our dear friend and Pearland Lady Oiler family patriarch, Mr. Ralph Parrish, in just a moment. Good news to report to you. Here is the 0-1. Did that hit the batter? No. Gets back out as a passed ball. So it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. Both sets of young ladies tonight wearing all black uniforms, essentially. The North Shore Lady Mustangs have red shoulders, if you will, and red stockings. Otherwise, the uniform's identical to Pearland, all black with white. Numbers, lettering, and trim. Swung on and missed upstairs will be strike 2. Again, Alyssa Denham averages a baker's dozen of strikeouts every single outing. Stepping back up on the mound. 1-2 the count, and a big windmill windup. Up into the attic will come ball 2. And our very able press box team here, including Mr. Abel Moreno. And Alyssa stepping back up on the mound. Pitch coming down into the basement will be ball 3. Stepping back up into the box now, Miss Ortega. Ring number 12. Here's the pitch. Downstairs will be ball 4. Pitch coming in. Be a little hook pitch inside for a ball to what the North Shore Lady Mustangs hope is lucky number 13, Alexis Cano. Alexis Cano. And we've got Mr. Clint in the house. I like Clint Eastwood movies, but we've got the real tough guy up here handling the chores, doing the best he can for old Ralph. Big Ralph, that's who I want to tell you about in a minute. Ralph Parrish. And then, of course, Harry Barrett has been taking care of some family medical problems. That's a good man. He connected on. He might be able to scoot in here in an inning or 2 or 3. Has been texting me and letting me know that. Ralph Parrish, the longtime voice of the Pearland Lady Oilers softball team. You'll hear his voice if you're sitting out in the stands and he's announcing out over the field, and you can hear him as you're sitting outside. 1-2 is the count. Pitch coming in, connected on. Ground ball chopper over to Ashlyn Walls, over to second. 6-4. And that will retire the North Shore Lady Mustangs, who collect no runs. They collect their first hit of the game and leave one young lady left on board. Taja Bonds was gunned down at second for the first out for North Shore, although she collected a nice little pillbox single that dropped right behind third in her first plate appearance. Brianna Rios struck out. Lacey Ortega walked and was left on board, and Alexis Cano actually was left on board with the fielder's choice, as it was Lacey Ortega who was gunned down 5-4 or 6-4 over at second. So we've gone through a complete roustabout of the first 2 complete innings of play, and we will move now to the top of the 3rd inning of play. And the Pearland Lady Oilers will bring up the Woodhull set of Ashlyn Walls, Sydney Gutierrez, and Lindsay Stewart. 3, 4, and 5 sets batting up 1, 2, 3 slots this frame. Ashlyn Walls hit a comebacker to the mound in her first plate appearance and was moved Romeo to second at that particular juncture. Sydney Gutierrez hit a single. Romeo came in and scored run number 1 for the Pearland Lady Oilers at that juncture. Gutierrez will bat up second in this frame. She's the 4-hole batter. And then Lindsay Stewart will bat up third. She cracked a run-producing double in her first plate appearance. So the Lady Oilers have gotten on track. They lead by the score of 3-0. And life is good if you're a Lady O fan and you go to the top of the 3rd inning of play and your team's up by 3. So stepping up will be Ashlyn Walls. She's one of a larger framed slap hitters that you'll find in a left-handed batting lineup, and she takes a hit by pitch and is actually going to go to first base. That's not the kind of hit that she would like to collect, but she'll take it for the team. And we've got a base runner on board for the Pearland Lady Oilers. So Ashlyn on board with an HBP. That's going to bring Sydney Gutierrez to the plate. By the way, they call this game softball, but there's nothing soft about the balls they're using down there. Those lime green softballs are not soft. You get hit by pitch, they're hard as nails. Connected on is a home run Sydney Gutierrez, who hit a long home run bomb against the Alvin Lady Jackets a couple of weeks ago. Paced that one back foul, and that will be strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Again, our broadcast coming on just a tad bit after the startup time here because the game got started a little bit early. Connected on over to short, and that'll be a force out. Good play by the shortstop for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. I believe that's Taja Vons, who scooped it up, came over and touched the keystone and took Ashlyn Walls off of the base path. Sydney Gutierrez reaches with a 6-4 fielder's choice. That's going to bring Lindsay Stewart to the plate. Lindsay Stewart, who doubled a powerful smash to the left center power alley in her first plate appearance, bringing in the first run of the game for the Pearland Lady Oilers. Pitch coming in. It's dropped into the infield. That's 4.5, 40-yard dash speed. You're not going to catch her. A slap hitter like Lindsay, she drops a dead as a corpse bunt about 1 foot in front of home plate. She's already halfway to first with that speed. No way you can catch her. So Lindsay Stewart reaches first for the second time tonight, and that will bring Kaylee Hoppins, who, as it happens, clubbed a single in her first plate appearance. She's the designated player tonight. Big batting stance. First pitch coming down below the border will be ball one. By the way, pitching for North Shore tonight is the very capable Kat Cavazos, wearing number 6. Kat is a gamer. She's a very capable young hurler for the North Shore Lady Stangs. Pitch coming in will be a hook that goes in up into the zone for strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. And the game getting started earlier than you might expect. We've had a big threat, or at least an appearance of rain this afternoon, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. All right. Nice play again by the shortstop for the Lady Mustangs as a bug killer slapped by Kaylee Hoppins over to shortstop Taja Vons, but throws it to second, not quite in time. Everybody's safe. When you got Lindsay Stewart coming from first to second, the fastest young lady in preps softball in the state, I'll just say that without having to see everybody else. 4.5 40-yard dash speed. As they used to say in country music, that's a girl singer up there at the Grand Ole Opry. When in softball, for a girl softball player, that's pretty doggone fast. 4.5 40-yard dash speed. You are not going to catch it. So she makes it to second and beats out the 6-4 attempted force out. So Hoppins is actually safe at first, too, on the fielder's choice. So now the Lady O's have one away. Young ladies on all of the base paths. Everybody is safe. We've got Gutierrez over at third, and the bases are loaded. All the ducks are on the pond for the Pearland Lady Oilers. And that brings pitcher Alyssa Denham to the plate. Now, Alyssa Denham is nobody's slouch at the plate as the pitcher of record for the Pearland Lady Oilers. First pitch coming in will be low and outside for ball one, and Alyssa definitely knows what a good pitch looks like. All the ducks are on the pond for the Pearland Oilers. The bases are jam-packed, nowhere to come but in. We'll wind up stretch and pitch to Alyssa. Connected on, there's a humpback line drive into center field. 2 are going to score, and the Lady O's now go up by the score of 5-0 over the North Shore Lady Mustangs. On a 1-out, 2-run single for Alyssa Denham into center field. Eileen Garcia, the catcher, will step up to the plate.
For courtesy running, Lauren Shepard, number 13.
And the Lady Oilers, who, by the way, according to conventional wisdom, whatever that means anymore in any area of analysis, I don't know what conventional wisdom means anymore. But according to CW, in this game, the Lady Oilers were going to be heavily favored coming into this game. Of course, Coach Attaway, Lene Clark, takes everybody seriously. But
hey, Dad, is the ice chest still over there from tailgating?
We definitely are going to be able to tell you that the Lady Oilers are going to be competitive no matter when, where, who, why, or how they are playing. Right now they're playing red hot. They were expected to do very well against the North Shore Lady Mustangs, but Attaway Lene Clark takes everybody seriously, especially the North Shore Lady Mustangs, because they didn't make it to the playoffs by being weak sisters. They're a strong softball team. First pitch coming in. is going to be a ball. But let me tell you something. The catcher doing a wonderful job, Caitlin Torres, threw a red-hot fastball down to third base girl Ashley Pena and almost picked off Gutierrez. Pitch coming in. That's a very lazy high ball into the attic to Eileen Garcia, who's an outstanding catcher in her own right for the Pearland Lady Oilers. Eileen Garcia batting up in the 8th spot. Next pitch coming in. Will be ball 3, and we have a crippled count. Again, all of the ducks are on the pond for the Lady Oilers. Or runners on second and third, for the Lady Oilers. And now we've got the bases reloaded with Eileen Garcia heading to first with a base on balls. Now, so far, Kat Cavazos getting into a little bit of a jam tonight. She'll have to try to make some marmalade out of it. She's given up 5 runs.
Courtesy runner number
on
21,
7
Haley
hits.
Rocha.
And now with only 1 out, the bases reload for the Pearland Lady Oilers. And when you've only got 1 out or no outs, or let's just say 1 out in this case, there's about 6 things that can happen to a pitcher, and about 5 of them are not good. A pass ball brings in a run, a walk brings in a run, a hit by pitch brings in a run, a base hit brings in a run, anything into the outfield brings in a run. Pitch coming in downstairs will be a ball. She needs a strikeout or a double play. A strikeout or a double play. At the plate is for the Pearland Lady Oilers with the pitch coming in. That's going to be a ball upstairs as we've got number 4 at the plate for the exciting Pearland Lady Oilers, who grounded out the short, by the way, in her first plate appearance, Madison Clements. Pitch coming in. That'll be a called strike 1. Her daddy, Clint, is in the box tonight. Mr. Clint Clements. Maddie Clements down below. Here's the rock, connected on. There's a screaming fly ball over the left side. Madison's got incredible bat speed on those swings. I mean, when she chops that bat around, there's no doubt about it. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. We've got 1 away. It is 5-0 Pearland. Connected on into the infield. It's going to drop for a dying quail. We may have 2 come in at this juncture, and we do. And Madison Clements and young lady right in front of her going to continue to wheel around. And Maddie Clements is going to come on into the pay station with a 2-error attending it inside the park home run. My goodness gracious, that's an inside the park grand slam home run. Now let's autopsy that action for you. Oh my goodness. I think she heard me talking about her daddy so much that, man, I'm going to tell you something. There were like 2 errors attending it. 2 errors attending it. So Maddie Clements hits a laser beam into left field. It lands and rolls almost to the wall, picked up by center, dropped and mishandled by the second base girl. So the runners continue to advance, including Alyssa Denham's courtesy runner, Miss Shepard, who was running ahead of her. Then we had Eileen Garcia's courtesy runner running ahead of her. And then Madison Clements winds up touching them all, too, as we have another throwing error to third, mishandled. And Coach Clark had that windmill arm going. Just come on in, come on in, come on in. So now the Lady O's lead by the score of 9-0. And 6, 7, 8, all 9 spots in the Pearland Lady Oiler batting lineup. Make it happen. Connected on. Ground ball over to short, mishandled. As we've got Kaylee Buck. Okay, stepping up to the plate now for the Pearland Lady O's. It's going to be Natalie Romeo as Kaylee Buck reaches first with a single. Okay, Miss Natalie Romeo, pitch coming in, connected on. There's a screaming line drive into right field. Everybody advances, and by the way, friends, we still only have one out. That does not bode well for the North Shore Lady Mustangs, as the Pearland Lady Oilers have, I'm waiting for my friend Abel Moreno to play this song from his 80s liturgy, which only Gerald Sanchez knows. I know everything from the 60s backwards. But Abel and Gerald, the roof is on fire. All right. Pitch down low will be a ball. Will somebody play some Motown from the 60s tonight in this box? I'd really appreciate that. Okay. That's exactly correct, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's right. From a group that didn't even have a bass player. The Doors. Pitch coming in. It's going to go outside for a strike. Wait a minute. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 1 away. Now, over at first, we've got Natalie Romeo. Out at second. Yes, second is Kaylee Buck at the plate. Pitch coming in. Connected on. Ashlyn Walls rips a humpback line drive into left field. The runs will just keep, will they keep on coming? Maybe, maybe not. Heading back to second will be Romeo. Will Walls make it back to first? Is something going to stop the action here, and will there be a confab? It looked as if North Shore had opportunities to pick off at least 2 girls, but they all made it back safe. Romeo back to second, and I mean, she was almost a third. And then we had young Miss Walls, who almost made it out to second. She made it back to first, and nobody tried to pick off anybody else. That's a fortunate set of events that sometimes you got to roll with. The bases reload for Pearland. And suddenly what many thought could happen has started to eventuate here. The Lady Oilers could definitely run rule this game unless the Lady Mustangs get off of the deck real fast. Swinging and missing, that will be a strike. Because 9 runs on a total of 12 hits have come into the pay station for the Pearland Lady Oilers. 3 errors for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. And Sidney Gutierrez at the plate with the bases juiced. Connected on, that's a high can of corn. That'll go over the left side, and it'll be foul for strike 2. So Miss Cavazos, she's given up 9 runs, 12 hits. She's given up 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch. Has yet to gain a strikeout. She's trying and doing the best she can. 1 and 2 connected on. Long fly ball to left, coming in. It's going to drop in front of the left fielder, and coming into the pay station, everybody is safe. It's going to be number 9, Kaylee Buck. That is run number 10 for the Pearland Oilers. So Sidney Gutierrez with a high can of corn. It drops out in left field in the garden patch. And when it rains, it pours. Not from the sky, thank goodness, despite the heavy cumulus clouds and dark winds at that coasting down low. But like the Morton girl on the salt shaker, when it rains, it pours. Sometimes hits, sometimes bad luck. The first from the Lady O's, the second, unfortunately, to the Lady Mustangs, because the bases, still with only 1 out, have reloaded again. And at the plate is the most dangerous young high school softball player in Texas, Lindsey Stewart. Here's the pitch. That's inside, gunned down out to first. Could have been dangerous because 2 more could have come in off the pond. If you throw it down the right field line, the first base girl misses it. Lindsey Stewart, when she produces, the Pearland Lady Oilers spin on the axle that she provides. That's the wheel in the center of action here for the Lady O's. And she's already 2 for 2 tonight, an RBI double and an RBI single. Swung on and missed will be a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The bases are juiced with Pearland Lady Oilers. All the ducks are on the pond. Full wind up, the 1 and 2 coming in. Connected on, there's a long fly ball into left field, circling under it. and bringing it in for out number 2 and trying to get the put out at home on the 4-set, but not in time. As coming in will be Natalie Romeo. Though Stewart with the sacrifice fly ball brings in her 3rd RBI of the evening. Including herself. And now we bring Kaylee Hoppins to the plate, who singled, bounced into a fielder's choice, and every Lady Oiler so far tonight has gotten good aluminum to rawhide and/or a base knock to go with it. The Lady Oilers have runners on first and second for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. There are 2 outs now, but this has been one long inning for the Lady Oilers. Excuse me, the Lady Mustangs. Pitch coming in, connected on. There's a high can of corn. Finally, the catcher comes over and pulls it in. That's going to be Caitlin Torres for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. And that will be out number 3. So, the Lady Oilers this time really bring in the ducks off the pond, needless to add. 8 runs, this time on 7 hits. 2 young ladies are left on board. 3 critical errors for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. And we will move now to the bottom of the 3rd inning of play as we've got Ray Charles, baby. The nighttime is the right time, baby. Oh, you better believe it. All right, Abel. It's always the right time. Always the right time for Lady Oilers softball, too. The night is coming. The lights are on. That's going back to about 1955, my friends. All right. Alyssa Denham averaging 13 strikeouts a game. Is out on the mound, 6 feet 1 inches tall.
Oh, yeah, we got a Gary Bennett sighting tonight.
I'll tell you, when you get into the 70s,
Officer Libby Bennett.
The 70s is the zone where Gerald and I kind of have a blurring of the boundaries. You got to go back to the 60s, and that's where I kind of take over. Come to the 80s, it's all the G-man. I'm out of there. I'm out of the deck then. I can name a few. A few of those hair bands. That's about it. All right. Well, we're going to welcome to the first time at the plate Annalise Padilla for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. Batting up in the 8th spot. The Pearland Lady Oilers lead this by-district playoff game by the score of 11-0. This game could be over relatively quickly if we go into the 5th inning of play and the Lady Mustangs can't score. Here's the pitch coming in. Swung on and missed is going to be struck out. In fact, they'd have to score at least 2 runs to stay copacetic. All right, stepping back into the box, Annalise Padilla. North Shore has not yet achieved a full team bat around. Beatriz Cruz is on deck. Stretch and pitch, pivot bunt stance. That'll be a called strike 2. Oh, 2 the count. 11 runs on 14 hits for the Pearland Lady Oilers. Interestingly, nothing has left the building, but we've had a very weird inside the park home run with 3 errors attending it. A grand slam home run by Maddie Clemens in the 9th spot, who juiced a humpback line drive into the outfield, and with 3 throwing errors, everybody came in, and even Madison touched them all. Wow. So that brought the roof in there. Caved in. 11-0 Pearland. Number 1 team in the region. Been to state more times than most other teams in the last 9 years. Here's the pitch. Pivot bunt stance, no problem. Natalie Romeo takes the little popcorn puff right off the barrel end of little Beatriz Cruz's bat, and that's the kind of hard luck the Lady Mustangs have been having tonight. A little L5 pop up there, so 2 up, 2 down. And we move back to the top of the batting order with Caitlin Torres, who struck out in her first plate appearance. She's got 7 home runs on the year for the North Shore Lady Mustangs. So this young lady in the 1 hole is an excellent player for North Shore, and she could do some damage. She's got to set a table now, though. Connected on, 1-hop bouncer right back to the mound, and no problem. We got 3 up, 3 down, strikeout, L5, and a 1-3 comebacker. And that retires North Shore. We've gone through 3 complete innings of play. No runs and no hits, no errors. We move to the top of the Pearland 4th inning of play. And the Pearland Lady Oilers lead this one in a landslide, 11-0. Charles McCullough here with you. As we have a listener over in Port Arthur, our good friend Miss Evelyn DeMartha, telling us that she heard the Ray Charles song blasting in the background. Said that's pretty good music y'all are playing over there. So I'm telling you what. Keep it with that 50s and 60s dirty blues, brother, and I may stay here after the game. All right. We thank our sponsors who make our broadcast happen, and they include the Vibration Guys, 877-373-9912. Mr. Jack Stout is very stout in his support of anything Pearland. The Vibration Guys will come out to your business. We're talking about petrochemical firm, industrial tubular manufacturing and fabrication firm, to make sure that all of the implements and devices are not shaking, rattling, and rolling, to quote the Big Joe Turner song from 1955. We get everything parsed out, scoped out, spec'd out, everything's running smoothly. That's what we're all about. Call the doctors to come out and check your machinery out at your small or large petrochemical or industrial firm. The Vibration Guys at thevibrationguys.com, 877-373-9912. It's Strickland Chevrolet, phone 281-997-5100 at 5719 Broadway in Pearland. We support all the fine young lady athletes at both Pearland and Dawson High Schools who represent the winning spirit of our community. And Strickland Chevrolet, wishing the very best to all of those youngsters and their parents all through the season. Pearland Lumber and Ace Hardware has a full line of lumber, building materials, hardware at 2027 North Main in Pearland. Phone 281-485-1474. We've been in the area since 1952. My goodness, 64 years in business. The Lacine family means business in Pearland. Charles McCullough here, also taking this opportunity to thank my good friend out at Edna Sestra Jewelers since 1952. Edna Sestra Jewelers, also 64 years in business. Dave Nesestra carrying on the family tradition of providing the finest in gemological expertise. When you go to Nesestra Jewelers, you're going back in time. Back in time, where they've got the old spyglass spectacles. They're looking at your watch, your Rolex, trying to get everything done by hand. You're not going to have some suit meet you at the front desk and not know what they're talking about. I said, I think it's, I got to get off at 5, but we might have what you're looking for. Come back tomorrow. They don't do that at Nesestra Jewelers. They'll stay till 7 o'clock if they have to get you shaped up, shipped out, and done up right for Mother's Day. Jewelry for Mother's Day, Nesestra Jewelers. All right, Pearland at the plate with the buzzsaw. Alyssa Denham on the mound and at the plate, too. And she brought in an RBI in her last plate appearance, a 2 RBI single. She reached on an E5 Bingle Ruski in her first plate appearance. 2-1 is the count now to Alyssa Denham. A wide open batting stance, the right-handed side of the plate. Here's the pitch. That's going to be strike 2 now. 2-2 the count. Alyssa bats right, throws right, and she averages about 13 strikeouts a game so far tonight. She's got 4 strikeouts, but she's only faced 10 batters. Here's the pitch connected on. There's a rope right into the glove of Taja Vaughn. And that will be a little L6 for out number 1. And that will bring Miss Eileen Garcia to the plate. Or excuse me, we have a new batter stepping up for the Pearland.
Now batting for Pearland, number 12, Michaela Norman.
Michaela Norman will step up to the plate. Michaela is a graduating senior this year for Pearland. Class act for Coach Attaway Lene Clark, giving the seniors a chance to play. Oilers are up 11-0 right now. They're in no danger of losing this one. And here's the stretch and pitch from Cavazos. That's going to be outside for a ball. Attaway Lene Clark. Coach Clark and Mr. Clemens up here, and of course Mr. Abel Moreno, and a lot of very good people put together a couple of fundraisers for Big Ralph Parrish. And the news I wanted to tell you that Ralph is doing a whole lot better. More than $20,000 were raised on his website. Thanks to all of you, many of you whom are listening. Donated $1 up to $1,000 or any. There was no donation too small, and still isn't. You can still help the family out. But Ralph, thanks to your prayers and your support, has been taken off the ventilator.
Mom.
That's extremely good news. Pitch coming in, swung on and missed, is going to be strike 1. So we have 1 ball and 1 strike to Michaela Norman, who's at the plate for Pearland. Then we got little Madison Clements in the 9 spot, and then we'll go back to Kaylee Buck at the top of the order. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch coming in, connected on. Ground ball over to third. And, well, it'll be a foul ball. So coming back for the Pearland Lady Oilers will be actually number 11 at the plate. Mariah Gaitan is at the plate. Okay, she's batting up in the 9 spot for Madison Clements, as Michaela Norman had been retired in the 8 spot. So Gaitan at the plate, we've got 2 away. Swing and poke, it's going to be a ground ball right into left field, and a nice humpback liner to go. I'll tell you what, that was a nice rocking and rolling base knock for Madison Clements. Hey, Maddie Clements with a rope into left. By the way, in our post game, we'll be talking to one of our sponsors tonight and someone making a big difference in Pearland, Miss Adrienne Bell. First pitch coming in to the
now batting for Pearland, number 3, Alexa Montemayor.
Alexa Montemayor up in the 1 spot now for Pearland. Batting for Kaylee Buck, who was 3 for 3 with a single, a double, and a single, and scored twice. 0-1 is the count. Swinging, pasted back foul. That'll be strike 2. 0-2 the count with 2 away. Lady Oilers lead 11-0. And at the plate now for the Pearland Lady Oilers, of course, Alexa Montemayor. She's a 2016 graduating senior. Full wind-up stretch and pitch connected on. Popcorn puff over the left side. It'll land right on top of the box. And that'll be a stay alive strike 2. 0-2 is the count. And on deck, it looks like we'll still have Natalie Romeo stepping up to the plate, I think. Brittany Stoddard. Brittany Sockwell will step up. Whoop, we had a runner caught between first and second. She's going to make it to second just the same on a little throwing error out the first. 4th error of the game for North Shore, but for the Pearland Lady Oilers. Out at second now is a very game effort by Mariah Gaitan. who's now set up in scoring position. 1 ball, 2 strikes.